Hi friends, welcome to another new video of Viromic, all about virology and microbiology. And in this video, we introduce you a new playlist, Top Gadgets and Techniques. In this playlist, we will upload videos in top new different equipments, apparatus and techniques used in microbiology and virology. And this is the video of top 18 microscopes used in science or life science. The first one is stereo microscope. It is used to look variety of samples that you would be able to hold in your hands. Provides a 3D image or stereo image and typically will provide magnification between 10x to 40x. Used in manufacturing, quality control, coin collecting, science, for high school dissection projects and botany. Typically provides both transmitted and reflected illumination and can be used to view a sample that will not allow light to pass through it. The following are the samples often viewed under a stereo microscope: coins, flowers, insects, plastic or metal parts, printed circuit boards and fabrics and frog anatomy and virus. Number 2 is compound microscope. It is a basic model of a microscope and also be referred to biological microscope. Used in laboratories, school, wastewater treatment plants, veterinary offices and for histological and pathological studies. The samples viewed under a compound microscope must be prepared on a microscopic slide using a cover slip to flatten the sample, used to view the samples that cannot be seen with the naked eye. The magnification of a compound microscope is most commonly 40x, 100x, 400x and sometimes 1000x. Can be used to view a variety of samples, some of which include blood cells, cheek cells, parasites, bacteria, algae, tissues and thin sections of organs. Number 3 is inverted microscopes. Inverted microscopes are available as biological inverted microscopes or metallurgical inverted microscope, which provide magnification of 40x, 100x and sometimes 200x and 400x. Used to view living samples that are in a petri dish. Allows the users to place the petri dish on a flat stage with the objective lenses housed beneath the stage. Inverted microscopes are used for in vitro fertilization, live cell imaging, developmental biology, cell biology, neuroscience and microbiology. Inverted microscopes are often used in research to analyze and study the tissues and cells, and in a particular living cells. Metallurgical inverted microscopes are used to examine large parts at high magnification for fractures and faults. They are similar to biological inverted microscope in the magnification provided, but one primary difference is that the samples are not placed in a petri dish, but rather a smooth side of the sample must be prepared so it can lay flat on the stage, and this smooth sample is polished and is sometimes referred to as puck. The fourth one is metallurgical microscope, which is high power microscope designed to view samples that do not allow light to pass through them. Reflected light shines down through the objective lenses, provided magnification of 50x to 500x, utilized to examine micron level cracks in metals, very thin layer of coating such as paint and grain sizing. Utilized in aerospace industry, automobile manufacturing industry and by companies to analyze the metallic structures, composites, glass, wood, ceramics, etc. And number 5, polarizing microscopes, which are used by polarized light along with transmitted and or reflected illumination to examine the chemicals, rocks and minerals. Utilized by geologists, petrologists and chemists and the pharmaceutical industry on a daily basis. All polarizing microscopes have both a polarizer and an analyzer. The polarizer will only allow certain light waves to pass through it, and the analyzer determines the amount of light and direction of light that will illuminate the sample. The polarizer basically focuses different wavelengths of light onto a single plane, and this function makes the microscope perfect for viewing bifringent, means different refractive index materials. And number 6 is digital microscope. Digital microscope is an advanced microscope invented in Japan uses the power of computer to view objects not to visible naked eye. Among the different types of microscope, this kind can be found with or without eyes to peer into. It connects to a computer monitor via a USB cable, much like connecting a printer or mouse, and the computer software allows the monitor to display the magnified specimen. Moving images can be recorded or single images captured in a computer memory. An advantage of digital microscope is the ability to email images as well as comfortably watch moving images for a long period. And the seventh one is USB computer microscopes. It is essentially a macro lens used to examine images on a computer screen plugged into a USB port. However, the magnification is restricted and is not comparable to a standard compound microscope at only up to 200x with a relatively small depth of. And number 8 is portable pocket microscope. Used by scientists or handheld imaging of variety of specimens objects in the field of laboratory. It is small, durable and portable with magnification ranging from 25x to 100x, and there are many different models available. And number 9 is acoustic microscope. Acoustic microscope is less about resolution and more about finding faults, cracks or errors from samples during the manufacturing process with the use of high ultrasound. This type of microscope is the easiest intracavity imaging tool available. It is a microscope that is under the used primarily due to the fact that it is less known for its capabilities. Scanning acoustic microscope or SAM is the most current type of acoustic microscope available to today's scientists. They can be used to view sample internally without staining it or causing it any damage, thanks to point focusing technology which relies on a beam to scan and penetrate the specimen while it is in water. Number 10 is light microscope. It is a very base model of a microscope and most common used microscope. These microscopes rely on lenses and lights to illuminate the specimen for optical image gathering. They can be used for viewing living cells, insects, for performing dissections, or clinical blood and tissue assessments. And number 11 is confocal microscopes. Confocal microscopes use lasers to scan a specimen and create high resolution, high magnification images. Because they provide depth selection by scanning the specimen, they can create sectional details without physical dissection that can be used to build a 3D image. Confocal microscopes are most often used in biomedical science to image living cells or embryos marked by fluorescence. They can typically reach a maximum magnification of 2000x. And number 12 is electron microscope. An electron microscope doesn't need light to create an image. Instead, it sends accelerated electrons across or through a specimen to render the digital image. The microscopes have the highest power and highest resolution available and are used to see detailed structure at cellular and macromolecular levels. While this may seem like the answer to all things of microscopy, electron beams destroy the sample. This means you can't use them to view a live or live specimens. And number 13 is scanning electron microscope SEM. Some microscopes can scan the surface of specimen in a rectangular pattern to provide information about the topography and composition. The sample is set on a stage inside a vacuum chamber which removes electron emitting airs to the accelerated electrons. Information is then sent to a computer for the interpretation and digital image, and some can reach resolution of about 10 nanometers and have a maximum magnification strength 30,000x. And number 14 is transmission electron microscope TEM. Unlike the scanning structure of some microscope, a TEM must be passed electrons through a thin specimen to receive information comparable to the way of light must pass through a specimen on a compound microscope. Rather than reflecting off the specimen surface, the TEM's electron pass back and forth through the microscope's vacuum chamber to build an image. Stronger than some microscope, a TEM produces high magnification power of up to 1 nanometer resolution, about 500,000x magnification. And number 15 is reflection electron microscope REM. not RUM drum, it is REM drum. And it is the microscope that used to study the microscopic surface structures and composition of crystals. A narrow beam of electron is refracted from the first few atomic layers of the crystals at high resolution up to about 1 nanometer, and it is combined with spectroscopy, the study of light dispersal, to form an image. And the 16th one is X-ray microscope, which uses X-ray which can penetrate matters efficiently. They can be used to view the internal structure of opaque specimens such as rocks, bones, or metals. While lacking the power of an electron microscope, they don't require a vacuum tube or accelerated electrons, and so can handle any kind of specimen. X-ray microscope can reach resolution of about 20 nanometers. And the 17th one is scanning probe microscopes. SPMS can create nanoscale image at a resolution of less than 1 nanometer. A probe tip about as wide as a single atom scans across the specimen surface. It detects any deflection in specimen and measures them via lasers, then sends the information into the photodiode, which interpret the information into a digital image. And these microscopes are used to study objects on the nanoscale and look inside cells and molecules. And the last and final one, number 18, fluorescence microscope. It is an optical microscope that uses fluorescence and phosphorescence instead of or in addition to scattering of reflection and attenuation or absorption to study the properties of organic and inorganic substances. Fluorescence microscope refers to any microscope that uses fluorescence to generate an image, whether it is small simple setup like epifluorescence or microscope, or combined designs such as confocal microscope, which uses optical sectioning to get better resolution of fluorescence image. Okay guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video and you get a new knowledge in the types of microscope. If you enjoy this video, please subscribe and click the bell icon near to it for further notification about new uploads, and also like our videos and share to your friends, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram pages. And thank you